What if placing one simple phone call to a tax professional could help you to recover thousands and thousands of dollars of your hard-earned tax dollars? Yes, on today's show, a former Trump tax advisor by the name of Julio Gonzalez. Julio Gonzalez, he joins us to share why he passionately believes that he can help you get your hard-earned tax dollars back. Whoa. Tax credits back. Thousands of dollars of tax credits back, meaning you've already paid taxes, and Julio Gonzalez believes that he can help you get much of your hard-earned tax dollars back in your pocket within 90 days. And the way he works, he only works on a performance-based setup. So you don't have to pay this guy any upfront fees to have him look at your taxes. If you own a small business and you've been paying a lot of taxes this year, you might just want to reach out to today's guest, Julio Gonzalez.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Thrive Time Show.
Now, 3, 2, 1, here we go!
Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here.
Yes, and yes. Thrive Nation, on today's show, we're going to talk about a topic that I really never grow tired of talking about. It's how to create time freedom and financial freedom. And you see, ladies and gentlemen, as you're growing a business, so many people want to talk about marketing, branding, vision, sales. I mean, these are sexy business words. Marketing, vision, sales, entrepreneurship, ideas. Think about that, folks. Marketing, sales, branding. And so many of the shows, we have thousands of shows we've done, and so many people ask Dr. Zellner and I, they say, Clay, I got an idea. How do I market it? How do I brand it? How do I sell it? But almost nobody ever asks, ever asks, hey, what are your tips for accounting? Nobody ever reaches out and says, how do I save money? Now, folks, let's think about this way. If you're playing football, offense would be like marketing, vision, sales. That's what offense is. Marketing, vision, branding, sales. But defense is like accounting and legal. That's what it is. Defense, if you don't do defense, if you don't do accounting and legal, and all you focus on is growth, at the end of the day, you might not have a lot of money left. And at the end of the day, it's about how much money you have, how much money you keep, not how much money you make. I repeat, it's about how much money you keep, not about how much money you make. With that being said, we are now interviewing today on today's show a man who was asked by the Trump administration to be a tax advisor because he knows what he's talking about. Julio Gonzalez, welcome onto the Thrive Time Show. How are you, sir?
I'm great. Listen, we have to keep tax low. Let me ask you a question. If with every dollar you get, you can spend it, you can save it, or you can invest it, right?
Yep.
Does that sound about right, Clay?
You can keep it, you can spend it, or you can invest it. Is that right?
Right. So
yeah.
You can spend it, you can save it, right? You can put it in the bank, or you can invest it, right? That's what the small business owners do. That's what the entrepreneurs do. They invest it. Now, Clay, they want to double our taxes. Now, what does that mean to someone like yourself who's investing in yourself, investing in your business? Well, under the Trump administration, remember, we got taxes low, right? We made ourselves more competitive. We allowed people to invest in their businesses, in themselves. Now, if we take that tax rate up to 60%, I want to ask you a question, and maybe your audience a question. Are they going to invest in themselves if every dollar that they make, 62% goes to the government? That's a huge risk and a huge hurdle to overcome. We got that down to 20% with the Trump administration. So this is what's facing us. And if tax is on the defense, we got to be defensive about this. We've got to make sure that one of these senators says no to this tax increase so that we're able to continue to be competitive. But Clay, I mean, are you going to continue to invest? Is every small business owner going to invest in themselves, grow their business, grow employment, grow the GDP here in the United States? If 62% of every profit dollar of profit you make has to go back to Biden and his puppets?
I would say this. I believe in the resiliency of the average American, business owner. I can also say you've been around long enough, and I know what you know what I'm talking about. When we saw interest rates under Jimmy Carter get up there into the 20%, 19, 18%, it killed the economy. When we saw the tax rate go way up before Reagan, and you would know more accurately than I have offhand, but the tax rates previous to Reagan, Julio, how high did those get? Because the economy became completely stagnant.
Well, they became pretty high. I mean, they were up above 60% because we were using money for, wars back then, and we never converted back to the Reagan era that brought the economy back.
So right now, let's just say that the taxes go up or the taxes don't go up. What do you do to help our listeners keep more of their hard-earned tax dollars?
Well, the first thing I'm doing for all you guys is fighting hard in D.C. to make sure that we keep those tax increases out of the tax law and we don't get that passed. But beyond that, listen, we are the largest tax credit and incentives company in the country. We work with several thousand CPA accounting firms to make sure and collaborate with them and collaborate with every small business owner to make sure that they're taking advantage of all the tax credits afforded to them that the billionaire Fortune 500 companies take. But there's a million pages of tax code, Clay, and so many times the CPA firms just don't have the resources. We come in, we're that resource, we're paid on success, and I guarantee you, if you give us a chance to review your tax returns, we're going to work with you, we're going to work with your accountant, we're going to find those benefits, those refunds, and we're going to get those for you, and we're going to keep that going, and we will help prevent all this tax increase for you by getting some of that money back.
Now, Julio, before we get into the specifics of how you help people to save more, to get more of their hard-earned tax dollars back, and how you're paid on success, can you just briefly share with us about your background? Because when I'm on JulioGonzalez.com, again, Julio Gonzalez, GONZALEZ.com, Julio, GONZALEZ.com, I'm seeing photos of you and Ron DeSantis. I'm seeing photos of you and Charlie Kirk. It would appear as though the entire Republican Party is on your website. Tell us about your background.
Well, yeah, I appreciate that. Well, listen, I started out in tax right in the 80s and worked hard to help over 20 years the Fortune 500 companies, the public companies, minimize their tax through sophisticated tax credits. And then really I started my own company in 2001 to bring that to every small business owner, understanding that accountants and CPAs were not going to have those resources to bring that type of sophistication to their small business clients. But, beyond that, I've been fortunate to have President Trump and the administration select me to sit on the tax roundtable. So, I was able to help craft the tax laws that we passed in 2017. Job well done to President Trump, where we had low income tax rates. We brought down tax regulations and regulations across the board and tariffs as well. We make sure that we had a fair trade, not a free trade with the Asia. And so we did a lot of things there to, help small businesses. I'm very concerned that, after 100 days with Biden, that a lot of this has eroded quickly. So, but I'm like you, Clay. I believe in the small business owner. I believe in America. I'm confident that we'll get through this period. But, let me help. Let me help all small businesses. Let me work with your accountant to make sure that we've addressed every employment tax credit, innovation tax credit, and credits invested in buying equipment, investing in your real estate for your business. We'll find them. We'll dig through them and make sure that we get those for you.
What was your role working with the Trump administration?
Basically it was to grade and score the tax plan as we were trying to pass it and make sure that there weren't any unintended consequences, right? Because when you change tax code, it's likely that that tax code existed, in previous decades. And so, but sometimes you think you're doing something good, but you have unintended consequences because if you change the tax code on one page, it may have an impact on 80 other pages of tax code. So really, it was kind of thinking thoughtfully of it. Now listen, Clay, you know this. I mean, look, we have 500 plus people up there in Congress, but 99.9% of them have never owned a business, never signed the front of a check, and don't have a tax background. But they write our tax laws, so we're there as the experts to help guide them through that and make sure that what we're doing is going to grow the economy. And that's what we did. We brought income tax rates down. That grew the economy because you had more money to invest in your business and grow employment. You grew great under the Trump administration. And, that's the key, right, is low income tax rates. But what happened? More money went to Treasury, more money went to the IRS because more people were paying taxes. And we didn't have the handout situation from Santa Claus Biden that we have now. So, look, we got to get back to that kind of thinking, and we will.
Now, I'm looking on your website here. Again, I'm on juliogonzalez.com, juliogonzalez.com. I see a picture with you and President Trump doing what appears to be a town hall or a roundtable meeting, but it looks as though the tables were square. Do you want to comment on that there, sir?
Yeah, that was a private roundtable we had with business leaders, and Rand Paul as well joined us. And we really talked about business and making America great again, and what we need to do as a country to be the dominant country that he did so well in restoring. And, President Trump, he's such a likable guy, so social and so caring. And really, he just comes from a business perspective. He doesn't know anything about politics. He went up there not knowing anything about politics and doesn't want to be part of politics. He wants to run the country like a business and give everyone the opportunity like he does with all his businesses.
So if people out there want to learn more and they want to see how much money you can get them back, those tax credits, what percentage of the time can you help people that actually go to juliogonzalez.com and they take the time, they take the effort to fill out the website, to schedule an appointment at juliogonzalez.com? What percentage of the time can you actually help get people a significant amount of money back?
Almost every time. I mean, it's rare that we're not going to find something. So that's the great thing. I mean, there's so many tax credits that people miss, like we said, employment credits, innovation credits, investment credits, all these type of equipment and real estate credits for investing in the United States infrastructure. These are credits that we created in Congress to keep employment here. And, but the unfortunate thing is, these credits are sophisticated, they're difficult, and so most CPAs and accounting firms just don't have the resources to do that. That's why we team up with them, and we work with them. You don't have to divorce your accountant or your CPA. You're just working with us collectively to find these opportunities.
What kind of cost up front? I know that you say you work off of a commission-only basis, but really, I mean, what's the catch? How much money do you charge a business owner up front if they reach out to you?
Yeah, zero. So
if you round that up, is it still zero? So you
we
zero?
have to be successful.
So if you look at someone's
What's that?
if you look at someone's taxes and you can't save them money, you just say, "Hey, I can't save you money." And they're not out any money. Is that correct?
That's right.
How does that work? I mean, how can you make it income if you're doing it on a performance-only basis?
I think it's the best way to do it. I mean, I like that. I mean, listen, I'm not going to cost any small business owner, any entrepreneur, a dime unless I'm not successful. And but we know that we're going to be successful. We know that we're going to find those opportunities, and that's what I like about what we do. Right? We're not being paid to, do something that doesn't provide benefit. We're only paid if we're beneficial to you, and 9 times out of 10, I think we will be.
So that's the catch. You're actually going to be able to save people money. That's the catch. Ha ha.
Well, look, you got to have a catch, right? But
All right.
That's right. I mean, listen, we've been doing this for a long time, Clay, and we know that we're going to get there. I mean, it's hard for people to believe that they have a good accountant, they have a great accountant, and how could these things be missed? But it's just too difficult with over 1 million pages of tax code, and so for any accountant, and that's why we're not the accountant. We're just the tax advisor to the accountant and the small business owner, and we're going to dig through those 1 million pages and use artificial intelligence and all our collective knowledge to make sure that we dig through and find those cherished credits. I'm the Robin Hood, right? I'm going to take back from the IRS and give to the people.
Okay, my final question I have here for you, and I want you to really think about this. Don't. You know, it sounds too good to be true, but we see that you've been doing this for a long time. You got a great reputation. You've been doing this for, I mean, what 2 decades now, Julio? How many decades have you been doing this?
Yeah, for 2 decades as my own company,
Okay.
for 4 decades.
Okay, here's the question. How do you look so good? Do you eat only fish oil? Is that what you're doing?
Well, it must be that Florida sun, right?
It's the humidity. It's the humidity and all that fish oil. That's what it is. But again, folks, if you're out there listening today and you want to see how much money you can get back, tax credits. You've already paid the taxes. Julio Gonzalez and his team at Engineered Tax Services are going to look at the entirety at the totality of your business, your filings, your returns, and they're going to see how much money they can get you back. If they can save you money, if they can, and maybe they can't, he thinks they can. If they can, Julio only gets paid a percentage of the money that you get back. Julio, I appreciate you. Right now you're looking into the files of, I think, 4 of our clients to see what you can find for them, and I'm excited to report back to see how much money you can save our listeners out there. And again, I also want a special thanks to you. You helped to fly out some of our speakers to the Health and Freedom Conference in Tampa, those that are on the restricted flying list, I believe. And I just wanted to tell you thank you so much for doing that.
Yeah, my pleasure. It was a great event, great people, great patriots, and great cause. And I was glad to be part of it.
All right, Julio. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and I can't wait to talk to you next week.
All right. Thank you so much.
And now, without any further ado, 3, 2, 1, boom!